Topic 4, business. Now, we've already spoken a little bit about business. We've spoke about key elements of it, bosses, marketing, all of that. But let's get a little bit more into the business side. Maybe the stuff that you don't like as much, the less creative, general
operations.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. And on that topic of things that you don't like, or you might not be overly fond of, or might not be your perfect skill set, in your opinion, when you're setting up a business, what do you think are kind of the bigger reasons as to why you should do it, and maybe reasons as to why you shouldn't start your own business?
I think the should is centered around what you want, and if it's freedom and if it's non-structure, then go for that. But I genuinely don't think that, like I said earlier, I don't think it's for everyone. And I think the reasons that you shouldn't start a business are if you want structure and you want to know when you're going to get paid next, you want to know when your next holiday is, and you want everyone to support you, because you're not going to get that in business, because there's a lot of intrinsic jealousy that runs below the surface, I think, and the naysayers, the woulda, shoulda, coulda brigade, they're the people that don't like it when people put themselves out there, because it reminds them that they're from the same place, but they're not willing to take the risk that you are. So I think...
Do you have enemies?
You know what? I feel like I don't have enemies. Like, going back to the boxing, they always used to say, the coaches, like, think of someone you really don't like or who really doesn't like you. And I just thought, I actually don't know anyone. I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't like me because obviously I do overwhelm the more timid personality types. Unintentionally, I would never want to alienate anyone, but people tend to be a bit like... but I wouldn't like to say enemies. I don't think I've ever done wrong by someone in a business realm or in a personal realm, really.
Or meant to.
Or meant to, exactly, yeah. I mean, someone else's truth might be different to my truth, and I acknowledge that. But, I'd be intrigued to know that, whether I had any enemies. Not on my side. Maybe I'm just oblivious.
Comment on this if...
Yeah, if you hate me.
Good. And now, if you were to start over again, you were like, right, I'm setting up a business. What would you do? Firstly, what business would you set up and why? And then maybe a caveat off of that. Why? What's the main reason? What would be the main driving force behind you wanting to do that?
I feel like that's a hard question. You put me on the spot there. But I did think recently, again, going back to my earlier point where I said that passion and money have to try and overlap if you want to run a successful business. So I love itineraries. I absolutely love itineraries. I love being organized. And I had an idea the other day about doing, printed or digital PDF itineraries based on an algorithm or an app, actually, where you put in your interest, you put in the country, how many days you're going to be there for, and it generates, what you can do in that time period.
AI.
Oh, really?
AI is the answer.
No. Fine. Well, you just pulled the rug from my business idea, but I've only just thought of that like last few days, and it's not like an actual, it's just because you're asking me the question.
No, it's literally like I was talking to someone the other day, and not so much itineraries, but like to do with like planning stuff.
Yeah.
Like I think to get something customized to someone, training AI models.
So you could actually integrate that into my idea though, AI. It wouldn't replace it. It would just help to accentuate
it would fulfill that. So rather than you having to go, all right, I've got to write a spreadsheet out with like 1,000 different
options.
Itineraries to do in Rome, for example, you could just connect it to a language model.
And just say best places to go for coffee.
Yeah, and then the AI would do the actual groundwork. You wouldn't have to actually think about it and then try and put in an algorithm. It would be the model of artificial intelligence that would do that.
But that's obviously born out of a personal need. Because I love itineraries and sometimes I don't have the time in order to...
Didn't you post your itinerary?
I did.
Publicly
I
on
did.
your last holiday?
Because I love them so much though. People that don't have itineraries, honestly, directionless, not my people. Like, I will go with the flow as long as I know what time the flow is starting and what time it is finishing. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm spontaneous, but I'm a spontaneous planner. So yeah, that would be my idea. And the why would just be because I love business. And as much as at the minute I'm in the business realm, I'm actually helping other people with their businesses, which is my business. But I actually don't technically at the minute have a business of my own that I can put out to people, if that makes sense, or sell. And I think that that's almost a product and a service, the itinerary idea. It's a multi-pronged approach, which excites me because I am a products girl at heart.
Understood. Okay, so in business, this actually wasn't a prepared question, but I just want to hit you with it. In business, what do you hate doing the most? You've kind of touched a little few points on here. Yeah, what do you hate the most and why?
Anything to do with accountancy. I just find it so mundane and boring. And what else? Anything to do with like, what do I find boring? That's a really difficult question because I actually don't find anything apart from accountancy boring, only because you just got to go through all your transactions and explain them, blah, blah, blah. In fact, that's a job that I have to do tomorrow. So that's fun.
Enjoy?
Yeah, I find that very dull. I don't like looking at what I've been spending. It's very depressing.
So maybe the outcome of this is maybe you're a bit of a generalist as well, which is helping you in like that solopreneur life as well, because you can have like an oversight and maybe find joy in loads of different types of skills that you need to implement to function your business.
It's interesting, like being a generalist, because on the one hand, I'm like, it's a really good thing to be good at a number of different things. But at the same time, in the same breath, I always like to think, you know, like the one thing, the book that I love, it kind of touches on the point, like if you chase two rabbits, you'll not catch either one, which you've got to be so careful when you're a generalist that you're not just doing everything and everything's being done mediocre. Like if you're going to be a generalist, be an elite generalist. Be an 8 out of 10 in 4 or 5 different things. Don't be a 6 out of 10 for 10 things, you know.
I like that. Maybe I'll implement that. And twice now you've mentioned about books. We've got some lovely books here. We're not going to touch them because you'll mess up the arrangement. That is literally so good. Anyway, books, okay?
Yeah.
You spoke about one thing. You spoke about 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. Unbelievable memory.
I was going to say.
And now...
Have you taken notes on that? No, you just remembered.
No, it's just all up here. And yeah, any other book recommendations that you'd give to people that are aspiring to go into business?
Yeah.
And maybe what books had the biggest impact on you and why?
I think those two that we just mentioned, Predatory
Who are
Thinking.
they by?
So Immutable Laws is by 2 people. Are you really testing me here?
I am.
Jack someone, and I'd hate to be the one I forgot. Imagine co-writing a book and one of the names gets forgotten and it's yours. It's Jack someone. And then the other one, which is the one thing, is...
Oh, this is terrible.
I'm so good at it normally, but these are 2 ones that I've not read in ages. So I normally...
Excuses.
I'm literally so good at the book titles. But anyway, that aside, my memory is not like yours due to the fact that I am a lot older. So I would say Predatory Thinking, that is unbelievable. And that's David Trott. There we are. Predatory Thinking, unbelievable. Just really challenging.
Making up names now.
Yeah, my man Dave. And then, just looking down there and a woman's trotting. So I was like, trot. No, I'm joking. It is that. And that's a really good book because it challenges the way that you think. And you come away from it and you think, okay, like I think in this way, but if I looked at things in a different way, that would be the outcome. So that is an essential on the book reading topic. And then I would also say The Luck Factor, Richard Wiseman. Wow, that book is so good. And at the start, a little bit of a meaty read because there's a few psychological studies. But wow, it's relatively old, but old is gold in my opinion. All the best books are, like 10 years old, and the stuff that they've got just doesn't date. And the look factor is basically all about how to change your look and just be a lucky person, and luck will come to you, not in like in a law of attraction way at all. It's based on science, because I'm not really into law of attraction that much. I'm more sciencey. Look at you.
Really?
Not really. I'm more into science, I have to say. And I know there is like mild bits of science about law of attraction, but I'm more science studies, and this is what the book's about.
I had no idea that you were.
I'm not anti law of attraction, but I've not read The Secret or anything like that. I just think, do good, be good, think good things, and good things will happen. As simple as that. Which can be seen as being reductive, but I think that you don't need to read a book to know those things.
Okay, well, this is a good way to end, because the next topic that we're going to move on to is personal development. And that was a little spill about personal development, being good, doing good, which I did like.